We're starting the show with this.
We're trying to make people listen, not go to sleep.
Shut up. Oh, you want to wake him up? Tell you what. I'm ready.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
All right. You ready? You ready?
For what?
Come on and slam, and welcome to the
Jam.
Woo! Come on and slam, if you wanna
Jam.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, you, what you gonna do? All right, enough, guys. Fuck, it's late.
We got it.
And Peter didn't lose.
Okay. Okay, folks.
This week sucked.
How does it feel, baby?
Sucked. I had a weird interaction with a coworker today that I wanted to tell you guys about. I'm on this call with Jeff. Shout out Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
What up, Jeff?
What up, Jeff? And it's Geoff, Jeff.
Oh, it's a G-off.
Joff.
Yeah, he's a Geoff. But he's a great guy. I told him I went out to the casino, and he was like, "Oh, you know what I love doing? I love sports gambling, man. It's really been fun." He's like, I found the new app that the Oregon Lottery does, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I actually enjoy that too." We were at the sports book, we were placing those bets. I was like, "Jeff, I actually have a sports gambling podcast." And he was like, oh, "What?"
Jeff's like, what?
What? He's a very exciting guy. If I sent him the link, and
He sent you a dick pic?
his response was badass. Thank you.
In all caps?
No, it was cordial.
Did you say you need to subscribe to this right now? Like, I will watch you.
I threatened his
listen-
family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
That's
fine.
the way to go.
Yeah.
You want something done.
That's how you reach
threaten
the
a
top,
man's
folks.
Listen, numbers are numbers, no matter how they go.
Yeah.
Sometimes ransom works, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes
No, just
ransom.
Actually,
ransom
most
means
times-
there's something in return. So just go, just
mean,
threaten them without giving them anything.
Low-key-
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
low-key threaten them.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to my life.
Welcome to our lives. It is now week, and I always forget which week we're in. So this was week 7. Okay, week 7 of It Just Makes Sense. The streak has ended. The streak is finally over. I feel like I need to play the Rocky music. Our illustrious loser this week is Braxton Tanner.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Wow.
If we were probably looking at the way that the season has gone, you probably have the best record on the season. You've had a couple of good weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Miguel might be close because he had a 14-6 week, but I think there was 2 or 3 weeks there where the deficit was pretty
It's a big gap.
pretty large.
It wasn't baby gap.
Especially when we get closer to the end of the year. I want to go back and do a yearly total or whatever, and post that because that'd be very interesting. To
The
see.
yearly total, and then you find whoever's the loser of that, and we kill them. Because that's the ultimate punishment. You're
but
done.
we
They
could
just die.
work with that. I was thinking maybe a plaque or a trophy
Oh, okay.
that is for
Loser
lack of
has
better
to-
words, the Sacco. You know
Loser
what I mean?
has to sleep in a dumpster for a week.
Coming up on the podcast, we have our week in review upcoming, as well as our It Just Makes Sense picks. Braxton will be punished at the end of the episode. He has no idea what it is.
It's
but
going to
it
be
is
good. It's
good.
great. He
Yeah.
has no idea.
It's almost a combination of 2 punishments, all kind of looped into one, and you'll understand when we get there.
I'm sure I will.
It's not going to be pleasant.
Nope.
But why don't we jump right into it? This is our week in review.
You guys care to know what our final tally is?
Yeah, give it to me.
Braxton, you went 7-9, and I
Sorry.
went 9-7, and Peter went 8-7. 9-7, 8-7, 7-9.
close.
Yeah. I know. It was almost like, what could I do to possibly not lose? Or if I'd like get into sudden death.
I know. You taking that same Chiefs pick as me was smart. Should we jump into week in review?
Oh, yeah. We should probably do that.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
This is a little bit old, but it's something that absolutely needed to be talked about on the podcast. There was this conspiracy about Lane Kiffin possibly like being on the toilet when he was doing a media availability. I want to play this and
it's very funny.
See what you guys think.
Well, challenge with playing a really good team that's very physical and it runs the ball really well and played great defense last year and in the first game and limit explosive plays and.
That's fucking great.
Long pause.
The team, so need to play well.
I like how he waited till he got to the explosive plays part of his sentence to flush the toilet.
We respect him a lot. Did you see the one that I sent? You know how they do the side by side? It was Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in the comparison with like age, record, NFL MVP, Super Bowl. But this is the picture. And even Brady and Rodgers commented on the picture and go, "Why are we so jacked up?" You see how they're fucking roided out?
Why are they so roided out?
They're like, "Why did you guys make us like that?" Like, look at Aaron Rodgers' biceps.
Oh my god. Yeah. It is interesting. They've done this where they'll do these like animated cartoon looking things.
They made a comment, but then they came out with this, which was even funnier. And this was the comparison between Joe Burrow and Phillip Rivers. And it has nothing to do with being jacked. They were kind of jacked up too, but look at the last line.
Oh, the last statistic is
the last
children.
statistic. Children, 9. Joe Burrow, 0.
That he knows of, yeah.
That
is great. Yeah, it's age, passing yards, pass touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, children.
9 zip.
Oh god.
That's pretty great. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and continuing on the Aaron Rodgers trend, he does interviews on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And he has just been killing it on there. I'll just play this because it is just pure gold.
I mean, I don't know. Every team is different. Every year is different. And, circumstances in any year which allow you to have more success or make it more difficult for success. Just kind of depends on the situation. It does help being the second year, for sure. I feel a lot more comfortable. But I sometimes laugh when people talk about, down years for me, because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks.
Suck my ass.
That was awesome. I am so happy you said that.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Since the season started,
it was savage.
It's not like Aaron Rodgers has kind of been just like always like laid back, easygoing guy. Mm-hmm. But doesn't he seem happier this year?
Yeah.
With just the shit that he's doing on the field.
He just seems so comfortable.
He seems comfortable.
He seems like so assured. He seems so sure of himself. He feels he's in his lane.
He's at a comfortable spot. He's doing the celebration with the Hingle McCringleberry. He did the little the flexing in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. He's doing this shit. Like he just seems like he's having fun right now.
If there is a way, and the reason why I've done this, like when you're talking about like the perfect way to go out, right? You talk about like an asteroid hits.
Go out with a bang.
You're going to go out with a bang. Like, what are the things that you would want to do? Like, the first things that come to mind, get shit-faced drunk, or just, like, start fucking.
Those are the two options we have?
Two options. I mean, like,
so
is
you're
there
saying if
another
you're
option?
like, you're going to die.
Yeah. Like, there's a tsunami or an asteroid, and you're like, all right, this is it. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to spend...
I think I want more options than those two.
Okay, well, then come up with another option. What's the other option?
Swimming in the pool of chocolate milk. I can drink it and swim at the same time.
Are you going to have a pool of chocolate milk on standby? Like, I mean, this is a thing that's an imminent thing. Like, it's about to happen.
I'll make it happen. I'll get people to help me.
Jeez.
I honestly don't think I want to be shit-faced drunk.
Just in case.
I'll just be dizzy and fucking I wouldn't want that.
The reason why that this has been brought up,
Hands up, baby.
it's going down. The reason why I bring this up is that Matthew McConaughey has a new memoir. It's called Green Lights. He says, I got a call from my mom, and she said, your dad died. He said, my knees buckled. I couldn't believe it. He was my dad. Nobody or nothing could kill him except Mom. He'd always told me and my brothers, boys, when I go home, I'm going to be making love to your mother. And that's what happened. He had a heart attack when he climaxed, and he died.
Jesus Christ.
That's a way to go.
I pray that that's the honest truth, and I'm going to assume that it is. And if that isn't the most Matthew McConaughey story you've ever heard, I don't know what is.
That probably tops the chocolate milk pool idea. I'll give it to him.
God damn it.
All right. I gave it to him.
Did you guys see this, the emotional roller coaster ride that a Tampa Bay Rays fan had on the AL pennant? Do you guys see this?
We did not.
There was a man, his name is Daniel Chang. He made a bet back in January that put him in position to win $300,000. He did place a $30,000 wager if the Tampa Bay Rays got to the World Series. But he picked the Rays to win the AL pennant before the shortened season was even announced. So it's not an insane bet.
And so it's the Rays and the Dodgers in the World Series, right?
Let's do some gut picks. Are we going to go Rays or Dodgers?
I'm
World
taking
Series.
the Rays.
I'm taking Dodgers. I'm sticking with LA.
I am an AL guy, so I will go with the Rays on this one.
I think this is a good year for LA sports fans. I think Lakers and Dodgers are taking it home.
That would annoy me. That does make sense. I mean, it happened with Boston, right, with the Red Sox and the Patriots.
In Peter's words, it will be poetic.
The Dodgers, according to BetMGM, are minus 200 with the Rays at plus 165. The Dodgers have an implied win percentage of 66.67%.
I want the Dodgers to win, but if I'm thinking straight money, I might put some money on the Rays.
Okay, so hot World Series talk. How did we get there?
I don't know, but it's good. It's good.
Just
to get
pick your
out there.
futures really quick, and then we'll
we
move
already
on.
did.
Yeah.
Peter,
Rays.
Oh, we
Peter
did?
and I are on the
Oh, you're
Rays.
both Rays?
Yeah.
Cool. Are we putting money on this?
I mean, if Oregon Scoreboard allows me to.
No, with each other.
Like against you? Like
Yeah.
we're both Rays.
I know. So maybe we go 10 to match your 20.
Deal.
Okay.
Done.
10 each, and then I'll
Hands
have
in.
20 in. Hands in. COVID.
Degenerates
COVID.
on 3, 1.
Beep, beep, beep,
Degenerates.
beep,
So we
beep.
messed that up.
That was incredibly wonderful.
Not surprising
Just
there.
to make it clear, I'm losing 20, and you guys are losing 10 each, max, right?
Yep.
So this is more of a risk.
Well, you're
for me.
taking the underdog.
I'm taking the favorite.
Yeah,
I get
you're
it. That's
taking
fine. That evens out.
If it's the correct time, I think we should step into the darkness that is the nonsense.
Yeah, why don't we get into calling out the nonsense? There is a lot of nonsense to call out. Who wants to start?
I'll start
Okay.
because I was a big UGA believer last Saturday. I
As was I.
fucking confident on Georgia to beat, or not necessarily to beat Alabama, but I thought the 7-point spread was
Absolutely.
absurd.
Yeah.
And I was proven wrong because they got absolutely murdered
It was
by COVID Nick and the Bama boys.
COVID Nick and the Bama boys.
They fucking lied. He's positive. They put him on the sideline, still positive.
That is such a good name for a band.
Yeah. Like bluegrass or something.
COVID Nick and the Bama boys. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Oh, and so one thing that I thought was, I mean, that is nonsensical for sure, and I benefited from that. So Georgia lost by 17 points, and they dropped by 1. They went from 3 to 4 in the AP poll this week, And I think that is nonsense. And I know that
bias
you guys
is
disagree
nonsense
with me.
every year.
Yeah, SEC
bias
for sure.
is nonsense every year.
And the excuse that they have is, okay, you're playing a better team, you're supposed to lose. But I think I agree. I think the only other factor is that it's COVID year.
There's not a lot of good
You're dealing
teams.
with less teams.
The thing is that, like, if a team like Georgia is as good as they are, like, you can afford to drop at this point. And so my rationale behind it is that other teams for sure would drop like 6 or 7 in this case. Like, they deserve
But again,
they deserve the same treatment.
But again, we don't have Big Ten teams in the mix. We don't have Pac-12 teams in the mix. So they're looking at the rankings right now going, okay, are we really going to put Middle Tennessee State over Georgia right now? We are not going to do that.
No, obviously not. But I think Miguel's
But, like,
point,
they're going to slip up, right? Like, I mean, like, if Georgia keeps on winning, and I'm sorry to cut you off, like, if Georgia keeps on coming back, then they'll just get right back there. But they don't deserve just to drop one by losing by 17
No,
points.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, it's even more clear, like, with this year with not a lot of teams. But we see this shit every year with Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Every fucking year with Tennessee. Tennessee always starts out ranked. For some reason, they're ranked every year.
What have they ever done in the last 10
Tennessee's
years?
never done anything. Since what? Since Peyton Manning?
Well, and also, I think if we fast forward 4 weeks and we're 4 weeks into the Big Ten season, we start seeing Ohio State, Penn State, Minnesota, some of these teams get into the mix, I think that's going to change things a lot. And then obviously if we wait another 4 weeks after that, we're going to start including Oregon in the Pac-12. So I think it'll start changing a lot more as weeks go by.
It'll be interesting to see how they're going to be
ridiculous.
integrated, right? Because, like, they're not. We didn't get into this in our week in review, but after we call out the nonsense, I want to bring something up about how Tennessee just continues to be the worst. But additionally, when it comes to calling out the nonsense, the Patriots just laid an egg. They were dog shit this past
With
week.
Cam being back too.
Yeah. No,
What happened?
I have to publicly apologize because I believe I called Miguel the I word for
influencer.
You never call me an influencer.
No,
you called him an idiot.
Said that he might be an idiot.
Yeah.
If he thinks that the Broncos are going to beat the Patriots, but I was wrong.
Coming from a guy who also said that he was going to put the Patriots to win the AFC.
I put money on that. Mm-hmm. It still exists. I'm still not going to just look at this 1 week and lose all hope in the Patriots. I still think that they have a lot of potential, but yeah, that was a bad call by me.
There was something else, and I think that we all kind of agreed on it, but it was when, Braxton, you brought up the fact that the Bears were the worst 3-1 team, I think, at the time, or maybe even 3-0 team at the time.
Yeah.
We did mention that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Now they've got Big Dick Nick, and they are riding high. After the Bears once again won this week, they are now 5-1. Mm-hmm. And after the Bears win, Nick Foles had a speech that some people are saying that they would run through a wall for.
That was not that kind of... Oh,
and I'm going to play it here, and I would like to hear what you guys think afterwards.
We're a team that's young, offensively. We're growing. We're getting to know each other. We're figuring out who we are, and we're doing it at the right time. And as a team, we're winning these games. And I think that's what's important. Now, we're not going to get complacent and say, hey, man, we're 5-1. This is it. No, like we're sitting there in the locker room after the game talking through it. Hey, we got to be better here. This is what we got to do here. Communication here, route running here. Hey, we got to be able to run the ball here. We know that. I know y'all going to ask those questions. We know that. And that's what's exciting because we don't have to have y'all say, like, hey, you doing this? Hey, we know. But we also know that we're going to improve because we believe in one another. And that's what great teams do. Great teams find a way to win a game. Bad teams win with prettiness. Great teams win no matter how it takes. So I'm proud of our guys. I think we're continuing to improve. Are we where we want to be? No, we're not where we want to be. But I'm excited about our offense. I'm excited about the guys that are there. I like the communication that's happening on the sideline. I love the passion of the players. Most important, they care, and we're bonding. We're getting to know each other. That's football. Like, you don't just go out there and play football. You got to care about the man next to you. to make those plays. So I like where we're at. I know we're going to improve. I believe in our staff. I believe in our players, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this organization.
So I have something to say about that. This is what people do to ruin speeches like that. Because that was a really good speech.
Right.
I mean, not in this. I got to stop calling it a speech. That was a really good response to a question.
Yeah.
Okay. But when people say that this is the type of quote unquote speech that I'll run through a wall, this was not a speech. They're making it sound horrible by saying that this is like a halftime pep talk or something to fire you up. It isn't. It was a great response to a question.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
Expectation is too high. But honestly, what I think this is you have a guy in a position who just took over a starting job.
Correct.
He's had some success, and obviously the team as a whole is successful at 5-1.
Right. And he is...
You need to have this public moment where I'm with the team. I'm all for it. I'm the guy. I'm ride or die with these guys. And so this was his chance to come off a big win and to show that he is the starter, to show the team, to show the public, because when his teammates watch that, when the coaches watch that, that makes them confident. And that's a good, smart move by, a savvy veteran quarterback like Nick Foles.
He's throwing so many superlatives in there.
Yeah.
And, he just got there. What the fuck does he know about this team? And, he's saying all the right things, and he's, riling up his base, he's riling up the fans, and,
What more did he need to accomplish with that press conference?
I mean, he didn't need to accomplish anything at all. But
besides that,
yeah.
So that's why I think that's a good and successful move by him. What's the real meaning of these press conferences? It's not. It's just to give to the public, and he did exactly what he needed to do.
You had a good answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Bears will play the Rams on Monday Night Football. We'll have that coming up in our It Just Makes Sense picks. But let's see. Is there any other nonsense that needs to be called out?
Yeah.
The Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I'm not a fair weather fan. I support my team every day of the week, even after a loss, which was quite brutal.
Can we question that? Have you owned any Browns gear before they went 4-1?
Yes.
Really?
It's a goddamn lie.
Oh.
I have. I've had a T-shirt and a hat.
And he poops every day, and that's what...
That's true. I'm always supporting them.
Fucking dad jokes. Get this motherfucker out of here.
But honestly, I'm so used to this as a Browns fan. It's not like...
What a cop-out. What a fucking cop-out.
And I'm going to back this up. I think that they're going to go 5-0 over the next 5 games.
Oh.
Wow.
Bold statement.
And I'll get into the details of that later.
Okay, because I want to side bet that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm good. I'm down. But the Steelers are a very good team. There's no doubting that. They're undefeated for a reason. They have the number 2 defense for a reason. And I don't think this is necessarily a knock on the Browns. I think that their defense definitely needs to buck up a little bit.
For sure.
Because allowing 38 points. But you're playing the number 2 defense. I think the ribs factor for Baker was more than anybody really thought. But on to the next one.
Also, we're not going to move past the Brown subject because this is the part that Braxton pays me.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Make sure just crumple up the bill.
Yeah, well, then while we're at it, I also bet Miguel that the Jaguars would cover. The Jaguars got beat by fucking 20 points, basically 18 points. So
I'm $40 rich.
I'm this week's village idiot.
Gotta pay it up. Gotta pay it
$40
up.
rich.
I lost.
Gotta pay it up.
I lost to Miguel twice. I lost the week. I lost my fantasy football game.
Yikes.
I'm getting divorced. I'm not even married.
From a woman he's not even married.
I'm not even
to.
married.
Just don't have sex because you might die right at the end of it.
There's the 40. Do you have the marker?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here.
Where's the marker? There it is. Yeah. Make sure it's real.
There you
It's
go.
real. It's real.
Yeah.
Mr. Jackson, meet Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's real.
I'm going to pay this off before we get into our It Just Makes Sense picks, and I talked about how Tennessee continues to be the worst.
Also, we all picked the Rams. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oops, keys potatoes on that one.
I mean, I do want to address this because I want to be as transparent as possible in this
Oops,
in
keys
this thing.
potatoes.
We did pick the Rams, but leading up to and we had discussed this where like, okay, we make picks on air and we go by these picks for our current tally for who's going to get punished, but almost always I am making the opposite pick when I'm actually putting my own money in it. And I did pick the Niners.
What a strategy.
I did pick the San Francisco 49ers because I thought they were going to come out swinging, but I didn't think about that until like closer to game night.
There's a lot of overreactions that are happening. We are on Overreaction Monday when we are recording this. So that does make sense. Things happen throughout the week. That's why you have to follow us on @officialijms on Twitter. As things change, so might our picks. We're not perfect.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Says the winner of the week.
2 weeks in a row, baby.
But there was a number of things that happened, and I think we're all in agreement on this, and I think that it is justified that Tennessee is ass. And so what has happened...
We're talking college Tennessee, the Volunteers.
Correct.
Not the Titans.
Right. So the Volunteers lost to Kentucky. Yahoo. After that happened, the Tennessee quarterback transferred. The Tennessee fired their defensive line coach. And then a fan called into a post-game show to explain how his wife left him after he freaked out during a game.
That's funny.
After he freaked out during a game. So I have this audio for you. It is pretty great because it is just like super like Southern molassesy, and you might have to like really pay attention to hear this. But
Southern molassesy. What a fucking word.
I hope one day that somebody describes me as that.
As Southern molassesy. But I wanted to play you. There was a man who called into the Tony Basilio show of a guy talking about how his wife left him, and I want to play this for you and get your guys' reaction afterwards.
I've been watching Tennessee football for 30 years, and I did something today that I've never done. I messed up, threw a beer bottle through my window, and my wife left me.
You really did throw beer bottles through your window?
Yeah, and I don't even drink. I had 2 beers. I wasn't even drunk. I can't stand to watch this team anymore. I can't do it. My blood pressure's up, and I mean, I'm cool and I'm calm. I don't get this way, but...
When was that? When was that, if I can ask, that you threw your second beer bottle through the window? And was there like a glass window?
Yeah, it was a glass window.
And your wife just looked at you and said, "You're nuts. I'm walking out. I'm getting out of here." And you don't blame her, by the way, do you? Do you blame her?
No, and I apologized to her and told her, "Honey, Tennessee football done this. I didn't do it."
Maggie, you're like a woman. Maggie, would you accept that from him, or would you think, I got to get away from this nut if he threw a beer bottle through the window? Or Maggie, would you find that endearing? Where are you on this? You're like a woman here.
I'd probably be a lot worse than that, so I don't have any room to judge.
Yeah, Maggie's the type, I think she'd go over and punch out whatever glass was left with her bare hand.
Well, my wife just looked at me and grabbed some stuff, said she's going to her mom's for a few weeks.
You're not kidding.
No.
I'm going to assume this isn't the first time this happened. Or at least
This guy has some problems,
similar.
bro.
Yeah.
At least something similar.
That's what it's like to be a Tennessee Volunteers fan, is that it is ending marriages.
Or that's just what it's like to be from Tennessee, maybe?
I mean, well,
I don't know.
sometimes when you marry your cousin, it doesn't work out in the long run.
Have you guys ever had like a super overreaction? Like, I'm not going to call Braxton out on this. You have had some devastating losses with Oregon in big games.
Absolutely.
Has there been a moment as a fan, and Miguel too, I mean, you're a huge Duke fan.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that you would have had a reaction to a Lakers, but you probably would have with Duke.
I had a reaction to the Lakers. Losing to the Celtics in 2008 was pretty bad. Because I hated that Celtics team, but not anything even remotely close to some of the ways that Duke... Like, Duke losing to Mercer in 2012 in 2013 and Duke losing to Lehigh in 2012.
I was just going to bring that up.
I almost fucking cried, and I was ready to get rid of all my relationships.
My relationship with Miguel was on hold for about 3 weeks after that game, because right before March Madness happened, we were at dinner, and I was like still figuring out my bracket, and you were like, I think this is it. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I kind of have them going. I'm not really high on them, and I'm like, you convinced me to take them to the Elite Eight at least. And then when they lost to Lehigh, I think I said like, fuck you, Miguel. I can't believe I believed you, whatever. And this was like, I didn't realize what I was getting myself into when I said that.
Oh my God, I thought it was like Paranormal Activity.
What is going on?
Jesus.
Jingle bells?
I have no idea what that was.
I almost ran out of here.
Yeah.
But just to kind of paint the picture for everyone that's listening, that was a 2012 NCAA tournament. That was a first round game on a Friday at 9 a.m. with CJ McCollum still playing for Lehigh.
Correct. And
I was up watching that game on my phone, and as soon as Duke lost, which was fucking devastating because that was a 14-3 game, right? That was a 14-3 game.
15-2.
15-2?
15-2.
That was a 15-2 game. And as soon as the buzzer sounded and the game was over, the first text I got was Peter going, fuck you for convincing me to take Duke all the way to the Elite Eight. And I was so mad that instead of talking shit, I turned my phone off and I went back to sleep and I ignored him for the next 3 weeks. I was like, fuck you and our friendship.
Honestly, I think that's what it was. Maybe I doubt I can find that text, but that is exactly how that went down.
Yeah. I was going to say, I remember last year's Auburn game, I got pretty upset with Miguel, and I walked out. I left.
Called it an Uber without telling us.
I was like, really? Fuck you. No, I gave an Irish goodbye.
Goodbye. You just disappeared.
I just was like, I'm out of here. And I was like yelling at you beforehand.
It was great.
So I was like, oh, yeah, of course you're going to take Auburn. Of course you're going to take Auburn. He's like, dude, that's the point of the bet. You're, of course, going to take Oregon. And I just couldn't get over that fact. But anyways, I called you back the next day or 2 days later, and I took the bet.
Yeah.
I still ended up losing, but I think that's probably the most embarrassing because, like, we were with friends, and I was like so sure, and I was just being a little fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
I
lost there too, folks. What's new?
Our friendship has now strengthened.
Yeah,
it's been galvanized by
until Pac-12 starts in a couple weeks.
Oh my God! Honestly, if you guys are looking forward to anything as listeners. In about 4 weeks here, me and Miguel might be screaming at each other every single week.
I'm betting against Oregon every fucking week.
You're like, I don't care if I lose money. I just want to hit on one of them.
And if you think I'm passionate about the Browns, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was just what I wanted to pay off when it came to the Tennessee Volunteers. A man's wife or a man's marriage is in jeopardy. And honestly, that's just kind of how it should be.
He's got more cousins. He's fine. It's a big family.
Oh, goodness.
Let's get into our It Just Makes Sense picks.
Well, we're already talking about college, so let's do that first.
College.
I'm feeling good. I'm riding high off of some college. I did some more research. We're back, baby. We're back.
We don't need to spend that much time on this because I do want to get into the picks. But I don't know how much of the games you guys watched on Saturday. But this Georgia Southern game, they got in the dance-off before the game.
What?
And the ref flagged every fucking player. Every player.
Love it.
Offsetting penalties of 1,000 yards each.
They were trying to... you got served. And they all got fucking flagged.
That is awesome.
All right, so we've got the Big Ten back. This is the first week the Big Ten is involved in our schedule.
It feels real. It feels good.
Yes.
It feels good to have the Big Ten back.
Very,
Little
very good.
normalcy, baby.
Yeah, give it to me. So we've got the number 5 Ohio State Buckeyes playing Nebraska. Ohio State is favored by 23.5 points. The Buckeyes and the Cornhuskers are meeting for the 5th consecutive season. Ohio State's won 7 of the 8 previous meetings between the two programs, and 5 in a row dating back to a 63-28 win at Ohio Stadium in 2012. Since Nebraska joined the Big Ten for the 2011 season, Ohio State is averaging 48.6 per game in 6 meetings. So,
is Scott Frost still with Nebraska, or did he get fired?
Sure enough. No, he's got
still
an
there?
extension.
No,
Oh, he's still there?
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
They gave him an extension.
Oh, this is an easy pick.
Yeah.
Ohio State doubled the fucking spread. Scott Frost is a goddamn idiot.
The 65% of the money right now is on Ohio State on the spread. It's going to be really hard, hard to bet against Ohio State on this because they have such a track record of winning at home. They have one of just let's see, prior to the start of the 2020 season, Ohio State had the nation's best winning percentage at home over the last 8 seasons. Yeah, I'm 100% going with Ohio State and the spread on this game.
Samesies.
Well, it's only the spread, Pete, so I'll go ahead and take you on the spread.
Stop trying to sneak the money line.
And the spread.
Yeah, just a reminder that on
this
college
is all
games,
spread.
We only take the spread. You can see all these picks also on our Instagram, Twitter, @officialijms. So I'm going to go ahead and take Nebraska.
Really?
I think that Nebraska, they were one of the only teams that wanted to come back immediately from the Big Ten. I think they've got a certain vigor to them. I think 23.5 points, I think they
big.
cover. I think they
big.
cover. That's it. I
Right.
don't think they win, but
No,
I think
chance.
I think they cover for sure. So.
Because the Buckeyes have won 40 of their past 43 season openers.
Number 17, Iowa State versus number 6, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is favored by 3.5. OSU owns a 32-19-3 all-time series advantage.
And so the Cowboys haven't played since October 3rd after their game against Baylor was postponed last week. So that's something that should be considered.
I think Iowa State will come in ready. I'm taking them.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I'm
taking them plus 3.5.
I think that Iowa State plus 3.5. I think that's the way to go for me.
Well,
don't make this happen where Peter and I have the same picks all week, and then you're opposite, because then I go down with them.
Hey, we're on the right side of history this week, man. We're on the right side this week.
You guys are making your picks first.
Okay,
I'm making my picks based off of. I honestly would have gone the same exact way.
And you should, because we're gonna
I'm not gonna bend to what decisions you are making.
Okay, good.
I've been willing to go heavy one way, and I've been willing to go against every single week.
What's your pick?
I'm going with Oklahoma State minus 3.5, baby.
Boom.
All right.
Boo! Let's go, Cowboys. All right, next game is number 8, Penn State versus Indiana. This is another Big Ten game. Penn State is favored by -6 here. Let's see.
Indiana is the home team in this one.
And this is actually very interesting. So Penn State has played Indiana 23 times.
Yeah, this is a pretty insane. It leans one way.
It leans definitely one way. Penn State is 22-1.
Because Indiana's a basketball school.
Right. The only win came in 2013.
So, I mean, we don't need to spend a lot of time on this.
No.
I'm gonna stay with history. Penn State
Penn
minus
State
6.
-6.
Yeah,
I'm taking
68% of the money on Penn State right now, and I will go with that as well.
Perf.
This is an interesting game. So, number 9 Cincinnati versus number 11 SMU. SMU is favored by 2 points here.
This is a coin flip.
I agree.
It is, yeah. I mean,
Cincy, who
comes.
Cincy were ready to play Tulsa last week, gets canceled last minute, and you know they're going to be hungry to come in and play this game and ready to go.
And what I find hard to believe, these are the only 2 undefeated AAC teams. So, I mean, obviously having even 2 AAC teams in the top 25 is incredible, but they're both undefeated.
Yeah, this one, as toss-up as it goes, 54% of the money right now is on SMU to cover. I would say that like Cincinnati is the better team. They're the more consistent team. But like, I don't know. SMU, like they're figuring it out. I'm going to go with SMU on this.
They're
one.
both undefeated. That's consistency through and through.
Whatever pick you make here, you can't be fault for whatever happens.
I agree.
This is literally a heads or tails. Right. I'm taking SMU -2.
You're both SMU.
Yeah.
Okay. I was riding Cincy all the way. I think +2 is way too little of a spread. I think they win by.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let Peter make his picks from now on, and then I'll make a decision on mine.
Okay,
I'll go first. I'll go first.
You can go first.
I'll go first.
So I mean,
I'll go first.
And I think that like Cincinnati, like the way that SMU is going to win this game is going to be through the air. I think Cincinnati's defensive line is too good to run on. So yeah, I think that they're going to have to air it out, and if they can and they're successful in it, I think they win the game.
Next game is going to be number 23 North Carolina State versus number 14 University of North Carolina.
You're not going to like this game.
Well, you don't even need to ask me. You know my pick for this game.
NC State?
Yeah. No way I'm taking UNC. For a couple reasons. I fucking hate them. Number two, they had didn't they just had a huge upset against Florida State last week?
Yeah,
they put up 56 points to beat Florida State, which is a big upset.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? These assholes are going to celebrate all fucking week. They're not going to be ready to play NC State. They're not going to cover 14.5.
So UNC is favored by 14.5, as you said. NC State starting quarterback out 4 to 8 weeks.
So
about that,
we're gonna splice this in. You know what? Ballsy pick. I'm taking NC State still with a backup QB. Fuck UNC. Fuck the Tar Heels.
What's interesting, 71% of the money right now is on NC State to cover. So,
little do they know.
What are you going to go with?
I'm going UNC. I think they cover 14.5.
This is becoming really problematic because I was going to go North Carolina State on this one.
Okay.
I've already made my picks.
So. Yeah.
I've already made my picks. I'm not changing anything.
Last one, another Big Ten matchup, and this is actually college game day.
I like this one. I'm a big fan of this one.
I am too, and I think probably for the same reasons. But number 18, Michigan versus number 21, Minnesota. Michigan is favored by -3. Give it to me, Miguel.
I was back and forth. I was circling one. Because come on, Jim Harbaugh. He is underperformed since he's been there.
Yeah, especially in bigger games.
Yeah, but Minnesota. I also just from watching even like the last 2 seasons. Minnesota's kind of like that. I don't know what to compare them to. That NFL, like how we kind of talked about the Patriots currently, this new Cam Newton era Patriots, where you don't know what you're going to get from them. That's kind of how I feel about Minnesota. Like Minnesota could go and put up 42 points, or they could absolutely shit the bed and get shut out in the game.
Well, let me tell you this. Michigan has won in 8 of the last 10 games. 18 of the last 20 and 27 of the last 30 games against Minnesota.
So, and you guys know the rivalry trophy between these two teams, right?
I forgot what it's called.
The Little Brown Jug.
Little Brown Jug, yes. I remember it from NCAA football. I was trying to remember it. I ultimately ended up going with Michigan -3.
Really?
I just think, like, coming in, I mean, they're both Big Ten. They're both coming in to play their first game. And even though I'm not a fan of Jim Harbaugh, I think just pride alone, I think he's going to rally the boys and make sure I think they'll cover 3.
I am riding the Minnesota bandwagon on this one. I know it's the first game of the year in the Big Ten. I would love to see the Little Brown Jug return to Minnesota, and I'm going that way, despite the fact that 69% of the money is right now on Michigan.
I couldn't agree with you more, Pete. Minnesota. Woo! Let's go Golden Gophers.
Golden Gophers. Currently the best football team in the state of Minnesota. We're getting into NFL, and I just wanted to bring that up. I was doing some more research today. Kirk Cousins, through 6 games, has 10 interceptions.
He's doing wonderfully.
The guy isn't guaranteed like...
You like that?
Yeah, the guy isn't...
Oh, you like that?
Guaranteed like $80+ million contract, and that is what you're stuck with? Jesus. Thursday Night Football, the Giants and the Eagles.
Oh, ooh.
The 1-5 versus the 1-4-1.
This game is going to be shit.
I wish that we could skip this one because it's just so bad, but because it's Thursday
Night
Football.
What games are we skipping?
So the two games that we're going to be skipping this week are the Bills and the Jets, and the Chiefs and the Broncos. We have the Bills winning, rebounding from their Monday Night Football loss to the Chiefs, and then...
Watch us look real stupid when the Broncos beat the fucking Chiefs.
Yeah, apparently they're going to be on a roll.
Do we have spreads for this game?
Philly -3.5, and the total points 43.5.
I'll make this easy. I'm taking Eagles money line and over.
I'll take Eagles and the spread.
I am pretty confident that Philly will win, but I'm not confident enough in them to cover 3.5. So I did take the money line.
It is what a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Like it's just like Carson Wentz looks like dog shit.
What is happening with? Why is he not looking for Zach Ertz? Zach Ertz was just dropped by all fantasy teams, and I have him. But regardless, I think 43.5 is low. Especially with what the Giants showed last week. I'm taking over 43.5, and I'm taking Philly money line.
I'm spread eagle on this one. The next one on the morning docket on Sunday, there's a lot of morning games, is the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. The spread on this one is 7.5 in favor of the New Orleans Saints.
And the total points is 50.5. This is a pretty easy pick for me. I'm kind of riding... With all of my picks this week, it's the revenge factor. It's after what happened last week, with what happened with Breeze and the Saints, losing to Tampa Bay. I think they're going to come. You have a little bit with Bridgewater used to play for the Saints. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'm not comfortable with the 7.5 point spread, but I do think that New Orleans is going to win. I'm taking the Saints money line, and I'm taking over 50.5 on this game.
The next game on the docket is the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals at home and are 3.5 point dogs to the Cleveland Browns.
Quickly going to Braxton, our Browns analyst. Go ahead and take the mic.
Yeah, the over-under there is also 51.5. Browns obviously need to bounce back from a, some would call, bad loss to the Steelers. But as I mentioned earlier, I do think that the Browns could go 5-0 over their next 5 games. I mean, they're playing the Bengals this week.
Do you want to talk about that now or later? Because
oh, we're talking about it now, Peter.
The 5-0?
Yes.
Okay.
They should go 5-0 over these next 5 games. I think they can beat the Bengals. I think they can beat the Raiders. I think that they can beat the Texans. I think that they can beat the Eagles, and I think that they can beat the Jaguars.
And then you conclude, and then you have the Titans as well. Titans unbeaten, but we'll get into that. The Steelers and the Titans face each other. 2 of the 3 remaining unbeatens will face each other this week.
But I do think that they can go 5-0 over those next 5 games. I think the Titans, at least at this point in the season, are a tough team, so we'll see how we feel when we get there. But I do think that the Bengals keep this game close. I mean, they've already played once this season in Cleveland. Browns barely won that game, 35-30. And really the Browns, their biggest weakness has been playing on the road. I think they're 1-2 so far. So I think that a lot of the money is going to go on the Bengals. As long as Baker can stay healthy and play, I think the Browns win this game. But I am going to do something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do this week is a same game multi-bet. I do think that Cleveland wins this game money line. However, I don't think that they win by more than that 3.5 points. I think it's a close game won by a field goal or less. So I'm also going to take Cincinnati plus 3.5, and I will take over the 51.5.
These are 3 separate bets.
Yeah, this isn't a same game parlay. This is 3 separate bets.
I kind of think that the Bengals are going to win this one outright. and I would side bet that on that. Not only would I side bet on that, I'm going to say that the Browns are going to lose one of the next 5 games.
Braxton, take it. Take the bet.
And I'm curious what that dollar amount is. I don't want to go high. I'm not like, I've lost a lot of money recently.
Realistically, that's not... Sure, I'll
do a
bet
10
you
spot.
Okay, 10 spot on what? On one of the next 5? Or are we doing 10 on each?
What was the first one?
Oh, I didn't know 10 on each.
So, I'm saying that I think the Bengals win this game, and then also the Browns are going to lose one of the next 5.
Why don't we $10 on each of the 5 games?
$10 on each of the 5?
Do 5.
So if
do
you
5
win
if you're
3,
betting
you
all
get
5.
30. If I win 3, I get 30. I want to do 5 on each of the next.
Do 5 on
games.
each of the 5. Just
okay.
That way it's a max 25.
Yeah. Okay.
So $5 each straight up on each of the next 5 Browns games.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah. Let's do that.
But I'll also bet you 10 on the Bengals Browns game straight up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Degenerates.
What's the next game?
The next game on the docket is the Green Bay Packers and the Houston Texans.
Packers, 3.5-point favorites. Total points, 55.5. Even with the Texans' renewed energy, and I don't think this is going to be a lopsided game. I will take. It's the same. It's kind of the same idea that I had with the Saints after losing to Tampa Bay the way that the Packers did. I don't think you're going to get 2 bad performances out of Aaron Rodgers. No way. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to win. I will take them money line, but I think it's going to go under 55.5.
Okay, the next game on the docket is the San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots. Currently, the odds are minus 2.5 in favor of the New England Patriots at minus 145. That means you put $145 down to get $100 back, plus 120 for the San Francisco 49ers. So right now, 52% of the money is on the 49ers on the spread. 82% of the money is on the Patriots to win on the money line.
Trap game.
Like it's Jimmy G versus Bill Belichick. Patriots struggling, sitting at 2-3, 2 consecutive losses. San Francisco 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 as the underdog. New England 10-8-1 against the spread in the last 19 as the favorite. I like the 49ers in this game. And I will go 49ers and the spread at 2.5. It's a tough game for sure because I can't remember the last time Bill Belichick has lost 3 games in a row.
Right.
That, to me, is the most scary part of this, where it's like...
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Really
I just thought of it. I'm like, oof.
I'm changing my bet. I'm going Pats. I'm serious. I'm going Pats money line.
I think I'll still go with the 49ers on this one. I don't feel good about it, but I'll go with them.
Well, all right. We'll get into Detroit, Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons are oddly favorites here. I guess it could have gone either way, but they're favored by 3. The over-under is 56.5.
That's a lot. That's a lot for those teams.
It's definitely a lot. Atlanta's coming off an unlikely win against the Vikings, obviously. I don't think any of us saw that one coming. And for once this season, they were able to hold on to a big lead. They were up 23-0. They didn't fuck that up for once.
How about it?
Good for them.
Not bad.
Good for you. It's like you're a professional football team or something. Detroit also coming off a pretty convincing win. They absolutely housed the Jags. I think they're kind of finding their run game. I like the dynamic between Adrian Peterson and DeAndre Swift, kind of like the new and the old. I think that Matthew Stafford, especially after the production that the run game had for the Detroit Lions this week against the Jags, I think that's a lot of the film that the Falcons are going to be seeing. They're going to be focusing on that run game. And I think that Matt Stafford has a day. If you have Matt Stafford on your fantasy team, start him. So Detroit plus 3. Under the ridiculous 56.5.
The next game on the docket is the LA Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. For the first, I don't know if they've been favored. I assume it's for the first time. The Chargers are heavy favorites in this game. Against the Jags at minus 395. That is putting in $395 to get $100 back, plus $300 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The spread on this one is 8 in favor of the Chargers and a 49.5. I don't necessarily know if 8 is how Justin Herbert is going to win his first game as a pro, but I am very on board with Justin Herbert getting his first career win. The Chargers are coming off of a bye, and Jacksonville is 4-9 against the spread in their last 13. The total has hit the over in 4 of Jacksonville's last 6 games, so that's something where you think, possibly you could get over on, what did I say it was, 49.5? I don't know if I want to mess with the over on this one. I'm going to go with Chargers on the money line on this one. Next on the docket is the Pittsburgh Steelers, 5-0 against the 5-0 Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, that's going to be a good game, bro.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. So this is the one that they postponed in week 4.
Correct.
Pittsburgh is favored by 2 points here. Over-under is 52.5. I think I mentioned this earlier. Pittsburgh is the second-ranked defense, and Tennessee is the second-ranked offense, both undefeated. But Titans are actually only 2-3 against the spread, while the Steelers are 4-1. Steelers historically dominate the AFC South. Since the start of 2014, they've gone 13-1. Straight up. Honestly, the only thing they need to worry about is being able to stop Derrick Henry, and I think they win this game and cover the spread. I'm going to take Pitt -2 and over 52.5.
I have the Cowboys in the.
That's right.
The Washington football team.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I'm not going to talk about Dallas here the way that I spoke about the Saints and the Packers coming off of a loss like this. 38-10.
Right.
It was very ugly.
It was not what I expected it to be. Like I said, I thought that Zeke was going to be a big factor. Kind of let Andy Dalton maybe play game manager a little bit, and that did not happen.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to come out swinging and just.
I think they go downhill fast.
Yeah, the Cowboys do not look good. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think they're going to win. If I'm looking at who they're playing, I don't think they're going to lose to the Washington football team.
Right.
But I don't think they're going to go out there and crush them. I will take the Cowboys money line. They are 3.5 points, 3.5 point favorites here. Even with 3.5 points, I'm not comfortable with. I will take the money line, and I will take the under 49.
Yeah,
I don't think Washington can put up any points at all.
Based on what we saw tonight, how you took one of the best offenses and then you just did that. I mean, that's you have the opportunity to do more than what they did tonight on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Just looking at the box score, cheese and rice, there's just no way. Andy Dalton threw the ball 54 times and they rushed it 12 times to Zeke. 12 fucking times to Ezekiel Elliott for 49 yards.
Bad game
with
management.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? That
That's
you're going
bad
to
game
have
management.
that you're going to have your reserve quarterback throw 54 times for an average of 4.9 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Fuck this, I'm putting this in the podcast. That is terrible game management. Within this, you have to give the ball to Zeke. I don't care how you think the Arizona is going to respond to it. That's your guy. That is your guy. And you don't all of a sudden say we're going to anoint Andy Dalton. He becomes the guy who gives it to Ezekiel Elliott, and he runs all over you. You take your fucking chances. That's bullshit.
I just saw it.
Kyler Murray threw the ball 24 times. Kenyon Drake ran it for 164 yards up your ass for 2 touchdowns.
I just saw a tweet from Skip Bayless that said that this one's on Zeke. What a fucking moron.
How is it? Oh, my God. This is terrible. I can't believe
This one's on Zeke like he calls the fucking plays. Of course he would want the ball. He was fed 12 times. You got to be shitting.
That is bullshit.
Why would you put it all on him? You have one of the best running backs in the league.
Oh, my God.
That's ridiculous.
Yikes. And 38-10 was the outcome. Eat me.
What are we on to? Sunday night?
So with that, Sunday night, right?
Sunday night game?
Sunday night, baby.
The Sunday night football game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 3-point dogs at home to the Bucs. The rejuvenated Buccaneers, minus 155 for the Bucs, plus 130 for the Raiders, and the over-under 53.5. I think this one goes over. I would say this one goes over.
I'm taking the over 53.5. That was my pick. I picked Tampa Bay minus 2.5. I did. I think the most interesting thing that I'm gonna watch in this game is the weapons that Derek Carr has with Waller, with Jacobs, and how they fare against the Tampa Bay defense.
I agree with Miguel, but I just think the Raiders have more tools. I think that they cover the +3, so I'm going to take them +3, but I don't think there's a lot of points scored in this game. I'm taking under 53.5.
Really? Okay, so I'll take the Raiders +3, and I will go over.
Bears and the Rams, Monday night game. Rams are favored by 6 points here, with total points at 45.5. Rams coming off of I would consider it a bad loss against the Niners.
Yeah, for sure.
Sunday night. And the Bears coming off a high with that win.
And now with Nick Foles leading the charge, got everyone riled up. Right now, when you look at the money, 78% of the money is on the Bears against the spread, and 98% of early money. This might be insane. I mean, this is via Action Network, but 98% of the money is on the Bears to win outright.
Really?
98.
Really?
That must be a skew. Maybe that's an algorithm issue,
that is
but
not
that
my
is
pick.
Insane.
I am taking the Rams money line on this. I believe they're going to bounce back from the Sunday night loss and they're going to win. I'm not comfortable with the 6 points. I'm taking them straight up. And I'm taking the over at 45.5 because based on what we covered, I think there will be a lot of points scored on this one. I think 45.5 is a little low.
I think that when you look at the Bears, you're at 5-1. You're already exceeding expectations. You have the St. Louis Rams. Wow. I dropped a St. Louis Rams on you guys.
Jesus Christ.
Woo!
A little behind there, Pete.
Yeah. You have the LA Rams at 4-2, coming off of a bad loss. I'm inclined to go with the Rams on this one. Money line, and I will go over the 46.
I wrote this down before either of you took your picks, so I'm not just doing this again, but I'm taking Chicago money line. I think that they come out and win this game at plus 205. I think that's a value. Getting $205 on a $100 bet. Nothing wrong with that. And I think they stay under the 46. I think this is one of those trap bets where the odds makers put it at a very low number, thinking that everybody's going to take the over, and then it's going to be a fucking 19-11 game, and I'm going to be dancing in the dough, baby.
Dancing in the dough.
Take me to the river.
But before he dances in the dough,
it's punishment time.
It's punishment time.
I legitimately forgot about that.
I'll be right back. I've got
Just
it.
go get it.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
It's the easy one.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
What am I eating?
You're not eating anything. You are drinking something.
What? Buzzballs?
No.
Is it alcohol?
No. Neither of them have alcohol.
Well, I already said no to breast milk.
That's what it is. It's also filled with vitamins and nutrients, all the essentials that you need for a strong, healthy body.
Peter's going to be very disappointed that I broke you down so quickly.
It's not like you're sucking it out of her boob. That would be way different. Way different.
Oh, he's coming.
Oh, he's doing you a fucking solid. I thought it's going to be from that in a glass like that.
What?
It's a martini glass, dude. Way less than that I would have expected.
I'm not going to drink anything
There's
until
no
you tell me
secrets
what
here.
it
Let's
is.
just get this over with.
There is some hot sauce in here. There is some beer in here. You told me to get you a beer, so I got you a beer. There is an egg in here.
And the main ingredient
is breast milk.
Lindsay's breast milk.
My wife's breast milk.
Okay.
So we've talked about this before you came in here. You feel comfortable with me drinking your wife's titty juice?
Answer the question.
I am going to ingest your wife's bodily fluids.
And you feel comfortable technically because she suggested this.
Yeah, I mean, she suggested this.
That doesn't change your level of comfort.
I mean, like, earlier tonight, I took a red Solo cup to my wife, and I go, can you give me some breast?
That answers your question.
And here's the thing. I will do this, but I want to make it clear. I would rather have my eyebrow waxed.
Really?
I think this is much worse. You are making me eat a raw egg, breast milk.
There's beer.
Hot sauce.
Kind of hot sauce.
All mixed up
I don't
in
know.
one.
It's like a...
So I just want you to be prepared when I come up with some fucked up shit.
He is angry.
For you to do.
You can't take this stance on just because you're getting punished. We had a guy go through 3 weeks of fucking misery in a row.
Agree.
So you can't just all of a sudden come down.
It's not a compounding thing.
It's not. That's not. I mean, I don't need to be burdened by his inability to win. I'm just saying.
You want me to take the first sip?
No.
Do not be a pussy.
All right.
The more he's doing this, the more I want him to chug like 3 times. No, fuck that.
I'm just
fuck that.
You have a looking right.
Listen, I'm trying to make this very clear. I'm 100% willing to accept this punishment. I'm not trying to bitch and moan. I'm just saying.
You kind of are, though.
Well,
you kind of are.
Is this not worse than getting an eyebrow wax?
It depends on each person. To me, it's not. I would rather drink this than get my eyebrow waxed. Fuck that.
Okay.
It depends on the person.
What's the concern, though? Okay,
no,
real quick.
There is no concern. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to do it.
But
listen. All I'm saying is that, in my opinion, this is a different level of making you eat weird shit.
When did we get to the level? Because of Lindsay's breast milk or the raw egg?
Egg. I think both are weird things.
It's gone long enough.
Okay.
I wish it should have been drinking like 3 times that amount. No kidding.
Now, are you going to sip it or are you going to take
bad, but no.
of it? Are you going to do the whole thing at once?
Record him.
What does it smell like? Does it...
It smells like a crouton.
Really?
Yeah, it does. It smells like a crouton.
Here it goes. The whole cocktail. There is beer in there, so I did get him a beer like he asked.
I would have just done straight breast milk.
Oh, there's broth on. Oh, no. Was that as bad as... Oh, I can't... I'm not good at this. I'm not good at watching agony, but that was...
There's technically some left still.
No, I mean, the guy took it.
I'm more worried about spilling on my hoodie.
Did you get the hoodie?
God damn!
I mean...
God damn!
At least out of respect, just finish the thing. I don't think it was that bad if he didn't even gag.
I think if you see the video, you will see very clearly that I gagged. Wait till next week. More bodily fluids included.
More like, to be honest, we're talking like a... Do we want to talk about the level? It was like a squeeze. Squeeze.
That makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
That makes me feel so much
It wasn't like the main ingredient was not breast milk. However, thanks to my wife, she is now... My wife is the queen of punishments now. She's come up with multiple ones here. Either way, I feel good. I feel bad. I feel everything in between, but most of all, I feel hungry. We're going to go and eat our Chinese food.
I'm proud of you, Pete.
Good job.
Way to break the streak, dude.
Just barely, but now I know that it's coming back to me in some sort of weird way. And I thought these last couple of weeks...
I said I knew that once I lost, it was going to be bad. and it was bad.
Well,
Congratulations.
Here's the thing. Let's just hope it's him next week because I am really worried about what's going to come to us. Make sure to follow us on @officialijms on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you guys next week.
Good night.